Dunkin' Donuts sends their mascot to Celtics practices.
I didn't know they had a mascot.
Go ahead.
Obvious question out of the way first, Malik's status.
To be determined, game time decision.
You really think he could play?
To be determined, game time decision. If anybody wants to play, it'll be Malik.
What about Aiden? Any changes there?
Same thing. He still hasn't practiced.
Chris, that first game with you guys shot so well in the first half, and then Woburn Tensai went nuts in the second half. Do you almost have to anticipate a different kind of a game, or just kind of play it how it comes?
You know, I've said this about Virginia every time we've played them. I do not care about pace. I do not care about speeding them up, them slowing it down. We're going to try to get the best shots we can when we're on offense. We're going to try to make it hard for them to get good shots when they're on offense. And if the score is 6-5 and Louisville wins, I'll be cheering every step of the way.
That first game was so unusual on both sides. Virginia scored more than they normally do. You scored more against Virginia than teams do. So what went into that?
Well, as I said, we made shots. I thought early on, we made both ones that were created by our offense and also ones that, we just rose up and made a shot. And I think in the second half we were able to get to the foul line a little bit quicker, getting the bonus. Steve did a great job in and around the basket, which, we'll need him to do, tomorrow afternoon. And, he hit some shots. I mean, he's an elite shot maker when he gets going, and they put him in that runner action where the big guys are screening for him, and we do have to do a much better job of trying to make those looks, a little bit more difficult. But a few of them, there's not much else you can do.
When you've watched them of late, did they look any different to you? Obviously, the results have been better for them of late. They seem to be rolling.
I think they've settled into how they want to play offensively. I think that a little bit earlier in the conference season, they were going back and forth between a couple of continuities that they run. It seems like as of late they've settled into more, screening for their perimeter players, a little bit more blocker mover that his dad was known for, years ago. So, but that doesn't mean we won't see some ball screen actions that they've shown on tape, both recently and for a long time. That's sort of who they were. But it seems like they've sort of settled into screening for their shooters a lot more.
What kind of problems Huff and Diakite pose in there together?
Well, I mean, Diakite is a guy that is very athletic, follows his shot extremely well. He'll post after pin downs. You can see that he's gained a lot of versatility throughout his career. He's shooting threes. Huff is very unique for a guy over 7 feet tall. He can do it on the perimeter, stretches your five way out. And then at the same time, he's got a great touch around the basket. He's got an extension that's hard to get to. So forcing his catches a little bit further out is important, not getting stretched out on ball screens when he sets them so that he's not standing alone by himself shooting threes, is a challenge. But that's what we're up for tomorrow night.
As the NCAA tournament has expanded, there's been, I guess, some grumbling that the regular season has diminished. Do you think that your players attach as much significance to winning an ACC championship as maybe they should?
I think so. I mean, I think it's something that they've talked about and we've talked about really since the summer. To go through 20 games against high-level competition, to go through the ups and downs. I mean, it's an achievement. It may not be the achievement that television celebrates or fans think about, but I know our guys would be extremely excited to win tomorrow and at least share a piece of what I think's always been the best league in college basketball.
As far as you're concerned, to be in this position in your second year, is that gratifying or unusually gratifying?
I'll tell you tomorrow at 6 o'clock. I mean, I'm excited for our seniors. I really am. I think those guys have, they've been the core of our program here for a couple years, and they went through some rocky times. And just to have the opportunity, I think is really special for them.
You've won outright conference titles before. Do you feel like that gave your teams extra juice going into the postseason?
I think that's sort of two different seasons, to be honest. We've had juice, and then you get in foul trouble, and the juice goes away. So, tournaments are funny in how they work, but we're not focused on either tournament right now. We're focused on UVA, as we should be. They've won a ton of games in a row. They're playing their best basketball of the year. We know it's going to be a challenge, but that's the one that we're really looking forward to tomorrow.
Chris, was Walden Tensei, and I'm probably butchering his name, was he a huge
I try not to say it because I've looked at the phonetic spelling in the media guide like 16 times and I still can't do it.
Was he a huge part of your all's scouting report for them going into the first game? And does that change after what he did against you guys in that second game?
He absolutely was a focus, going in. I know it didn't look like it, but he shot, damn near 50% from three-point line in junior college. And he had games like that leading up. So, I think that anytime you face an opponent and he has a game like that, I don't know how much prep we have to do in terms of saying, hey, he likes to catch and shoot. He's going to bump back. If you shortcut the screen, like I think our guys are very well aware of the highlight reel he sort of put together a month or so ago.
Is he comparable to Ryan, you think? His shooting, the way
He's bigger.
Yeah.
He's 6'4", 6'5". They run him on endless screens. I think he's more athletic. But if you're talking about shooting ability, I'd have to see him in a gym together. But from what I saw at the Yum Center, Amp's pretty good.
You said they settled in offensively, and just kind of wondering what you think of the job Tony's done, or have you ever gone through a year where you lose as much? He lost a huge part of what made his team last year, and how difficult that is as a coach to kind of reform a team in such really a small league.
Yeah, I mean he's one of the best in the country, and I think his program has an identity. He had a huge turnover on his roster. Guys that were in different roles a year ago had to assume primary roles. Guys that weren't on his team had to learn his system. They went through a tough stretch where they're trying to figure it out. But he doesn't throw out the baby with the bathwater. He just continues to do what he does and teach how he does, and he's one of the best in the country. I don't think there's any question in that. He does a terrific job, and he'll do a terrific job as long as he continues to coach there.
When you beat Virginia last month, it was the 10th of a 10-game winning streak. Do you think you were playing at a higher level then, or is it just the way the schedule is unfolded?
Than now?
Yeah.
Well, I think we're beat up a little bit. I think that Jordan is a huge piece to our team, and I think he's played really well as of late, really well on both ends of the floor. We lose Malik, so we're shuffling Dwayne at the 5 at times. Steven can't play 40 minutes. But I like the mojo of our team. I think our guys are, really a together group. I think they're excited to play in March. I don't see any fading out of our team in practice, and so, hard to answer that because I don't think we're the same team, right now. But at the same time, I feel like our team is improving in areas that we've needed to improve.
I guess considering Malik specifically, can you be as optimistic now as you might have been a month ago?
I mean, we did some good things without Malik and David.
Mm-hmm.
So I'd like to think that we have it within us and to play well. I mean, we showed a great half at Florida State. We obviously let the game get away from us, and I give all credit to Florida State in the second half, but then thought against Virginia Tech once we got settled in off senior night, and the emotion that brings. And, I think we played extremely well in the second half and followed the game plan. Again, we're excited about the huge challenge we have tomorrow.
Chris, with Dwayne, do you have to change anything at all offensively if Steven does get in foul trouble or when he needs a break with Dwayne in there?
I'll put it like this. We can run this almost everything that we run, but, we're not going to bring Dwayne to the block like we would with Steven on certain set plays. I just won't call those. We could run them if I wanted to, but, posting up Dwayne against, maybe Diakite or Huff probably wouldn't be to our advantage. So he's smart enough to know every play, and he does know every play. that we run. He knows every assignment, but we have to play a little different in terms of who we're going to and how we're going to them.
With the NCAA considering maybe not having fans in attendance in the postseason, depending on how bad this coronavirus is, have you thought about what that would be like to play with no spectators?
I mean, we've done it before. You know, we've done Ohio State scrimmage. I didn't like the results, so I'm hoping that doesn't come to that.
Are you concerned at all about any of that?
Coronavirus?
Yes, and the travel of the NCAA tournament.
I'm a basketball coach. I mean, like, because I'm a public figure or a sports guy, to start talking about, coronavirus would be completely idiotic. I'm going to stay off that right now.
On a related issue, the NBA has advised teams to forego high fives in favor of fist bumps. Have you told you guys anything along those lines? Or
No.
had any medical people talk to them?
No, they haven't. No.
Anything else for Coach?
Thanks,
Thank
Chris.
you.
All good.